Now the gynecologist who allegedly has abused at least 90 of his patients, one of whom claims he caused her to miscarry her child. The women sued him civilly, but the case against him was dismissed. As Lisa Guerrero reports, his alleged victims are stunned and furious over what they say happened to them.
Your doctor's office is supposed to be a safe space with a medical professional you can count on.
I definitely trusted the white coat.
But all these women say their OBGYN doctor shattered their trust.
I just felt diminished.
His name is Dr. David Broadbent.
I think he should be in prison.
They say for decades, Dr. Broadbent preyed upon young, vulnerable members of the local Mormon community in Provo, Utah, subjecting them to painful and unnecessary examinations for his own pleasure.
Do each and every one of you believe that you were sexually assaulted by the same doctor?
Yes.
He said things like, "This is every girl's favorite part," or "You like that, don't you?"
Roxana Peterson says despite her distress, he continued.
I was on the verge of tears, and it almost felt like he wanted to inflict pain.
Stephanie Mateer says she had a similar experience.
He didn't tell me what he was going to do or anything. He just did it. And then as he was finishing up, he said, "Well, your husband's a lucky man."
When she spoke out about it on a local podcast, another former patient of Dr. Broadbent was listening.
She was talking about it, and all these light bulbs were going off in my head.
His name's Dr. David Broadbent, David H. Broadbent.
When she said that, my world just shattered.
And they're not alone. More than 90 women have come forward here in Utah alleging similar horror stories of sexual abuse by Dr. Broadbent during medical exams, some of them while pregnant.
How is that possible that 94 women can have almost the identical story?
This former patient says she still remembers how frightened she was during her first appointment while pregnant 8 years ago.
I was shocked, like my body had gone completely stiff.
And when this woman went into labor, she says she was happy Dr. Broadbent was out of town.
I was just relieved that I didn't have to have him be there to deliver my child.
And another former patient says she grew so terrified of Dr. Broadbent after he allegedly violated her, his mere presence caused her to panic.
Dr. Broadbent would come in and immediately my contractions would start and they would be hard. And then they would kind of subside a little bit after he would leave the room.
And she says when she told hospital staff, they told her it wasn't the first time someone had reported him.
Their lack of action allowed me and other women to be hurt by this doctor.
She wasn't the only one who says they tried to report him years ago.
I actually talked to an officer and he goes, "That's medical, we don't take that."
And what this patient claims happened to her during a visit while pregnant out of wedlock is truly disturbing.
He started telling us we were going to hell because we were pregnant before marriage. And then he said, "Don't worry, I'll help." And it was the most excruciating pain. 2 days later, I ended up in the ER where I miscarried.
In total, 94 women have teamed up to sue Dr. Broadbent. But to their shock, the judge dismissed the lawsuit.
Every single act of abuse, he said, was healthcare because it was a doctor at a healthcare facility.
Their attorney, Adam Sorensen, says the judge informed the group they would need to refile their case as medical malpractice. But with a 2-year statute of limitations, many of them have passed the deadline.
The judicial system has, thus far has failed.
Outraged by the decision, State Senator Mike McKell introduced a bill to clarify that sexual assault should not be considered a part of medical care.
Sex abuse is not medical care.
The bill passed, but it does not reverse the outcome of the case.
Hopefully the political system catches up and we can fix the law, and we've done that, but we'll continue to be vigilant and make sure that their voice is heard moving forward.
Now the women are making national headlines, appealing their case to the state Supreme Court.
To sit there in a hearing and to listen to lawyers argue whether or not what happened to you was health care or abuse is re-traumatizing.
I'd like for him to know that we see him, that We know what he's done.
When we tried to talk to Dr. Broadbent,
Did you use your position as a doctor to sexually abuse some of your patients?
he had nothing to say.
Sir, for decades, they claim that you have been preying upon young, vulnerable women. Is that true?
I am happy to know that he's no longer in practice and he can no longer touch another patient. I see the pain that all of these women have felt and how much they've blamed themselves. And I just want him to be able to take responsibility for the pain that he's caused.
Dr. Broadbent has not been charged. He denies all the allegations. However, while officials continue investigating, he has agreed to stop practicing.